Don't forget to subscribe. Afterwards, the wisest and most spiritual books from the greatest authors await you every day. And now buckle up, sit back and we'll begin.
He who lives with his senses well controlled, moderate in his food and drink, he will not be overthrown, any more than the wind throws down a rocky mountain. Gautama Buddha. Those who awaken never rest in one place. Like swans, they rise and leave the lake. On the air they rise and fly an invisible course. Their food is knowledge. They live on emptiness. They have seen how to break free. Who can follow them? Learn to be happy with what you have. To insist on a spiritual practice that served you in the past is to carry the raft on your back after you have crossed the river. The gift of truth overcomes all gifts. The joy of truth overcomes all pleasures. The taste of truth overcomes all sweetness. So too, monks, I saw the ancient path, the ancient road traveled by the perfectly enlightened ones of the past. And what is that ancient path, that ancient road? It is just this noble eightfold path, that is, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Life is like the harp string. If it is strung too tight it won't play. If it is too loose it hangs. The tension that produces the beautiful sound lies in the middle. Live contemplating the body. Contemplate internally and externally. Contemplate the origination of things in the body. Contemplate the dissolution of things in the body. Journey over, sorrowless, freed in every way, and with all bonds broken, for such a man there is no more distress. Thoughtfulness is the way to deathlessness, thoughtlessness the way to death. The thoughtful do not die, the thoughtless are as if dead already. With gentleness overcome anger. With generosity overcome meanness. With truth overcome deceit. Just as treasures are uncovered from the earth, so virtue appears from good deeds, and wisdom appears from a pure and peaceful mind. To walk safely through the maze of human life, one needs the light of wisdom and the guidance of virtue. What you have become is the result of what you have thought. Just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so also this teaching and discipline has one taste, the taste of liberation. May I hold myself in compassion. May I meet the suffering and ignorance of others with compassion. War ends only when people love each other. Which do you think is more, my friend? The water in the four great oceans, or the tears that you have shed on this long way of taking birth again and again? This is the entire spiritual life, Ananda, that is, good friendship, good companionship, good comradeship. When a monk has a good friend, a good companion, a good comrade, it is to be expected that he will develop and cultivate the noble eightfold path. The mind that perceives the limitation is the limitation. To be selfish, greedy and unwilling to help the needy gives rise to future starvation and clothlessness. He who has renounced all violence towards all living beings, weak or strong, who neither kills nor causes others to kill, him I do call a holy man. He who, calm and clear as the moon, hankers no more for continuity, he is holy. Craving brings pain, craving brings fear. If you do not yield to craving, you will be free from pain and fear. We must be diligent today. To wait until tomorrow is too late. Death comes unexpectedly. How can we bargain with it? If people become accustomed to lying, they will unconsciously commit every possible wrong deed. Before they can act wickedly, they must lie, and once they begin to lie, they will act wickedly without concern. Don't just do something, be there. Few among men are they who cross to the further shore. The others merely run up and down the bank on this side. This existence of ours is as transient as autumn clouds. To watch the birth and death of beings is like looking at the movements of a dance. A lifetime is like a flash of lightning in the sky, rushing by, like a torrent down a steep mountain. Neither my life of luxury in the palace nor my life as ascetic in the forest were ways to enlightenment. Monks, we who look at the whole and not just the part, know that we too are systems of interdependence, of feelings, perceptions, thoughts, and consciousness, all interconnected. Investigating in this way, we come to realize that there is no me or mine in any one part, just as a sound does not belong to any one part of the lute. Love is beauty and beauty is truth, and that is why in the beauty of a flower we can see the truth of the universe. A man is not called wise because he talks and talks again, but if he is peaceful, loving and fearless, then he is in truth called wise. Hatreds never cease by hatreds in this world. By love alone they cease. This is an ancient law. To share happiness, and to have done something good before leaving this life is sweet. It is better to spend one day contemplating the birth and death of all things than 100 years never contemplating beginnings and endings. We living beings, right down to crickets, ants, mosquitoes, and flies, all possess life that is without beginning or end. The man who foolishly does me wrong, I will return to him the protection of my most ungrudging love, and the more evil comes from him, the more good shall go from me. To keep the body in good health is a duty, for otherwise we shall not be able to trim the lamp of wisdom, and keep our minds strong and clear. Live joyfully, without desire. He who is kind to animals heaven will protect. And for a disciple thus freed, in whose heart dwells peace, there is nothing to be added to what has been done, and not more remains for him to do. Just as a rock of one solid mass remains unshaken by the wind, even so, neither forms, nor sounds, nor odors, nor tastes, nor contacts of any kind, neither the desired, nor the undesired, can cause such an one to waver. Steadfast is his mind, gained is deliverance. Whoever lives looking for pleasure only, his senses uncontrolled, immoderate in his enjoyments, idle and weak, the tempter will certainly overcome him, as the wind blows down a weak tree. If desires are not uprooted, sorrows grow again in you. Attachment leads to suffering. If a man lives a pure life, nothing can destroy him. One who possesses 4 qualities is deposited in heaven as if brought there. What for? Bodily good conduct, verbal good conduct, mental good conduct, and gratitude or thankfulness. One possessing these 4 qualities is deposited in heaven as if brought there. When ignorant people see someone who is dead, they are disgusted and horrified, even thought they too will be dead someday. I thought to myself, I don't want to be like the ignorant people. After then, I couldn't feel the usual intoxication with life anymore. Let him the intelligent man admonish, let him teach, let him forbid what is improper. He will be beloved of the good, by the bad he will be hated. Religion is a cow. It gives milk, but it also kicks. It is good to have companions when occasion arises, and it is good to be contented with whatever comes. There is no fire like passion, there is no shark like hatred, there is no snare like folly, there is no torrent like greed. The virtuous man delights in this world and he delights in the next. How can one ever know anything if they are too busy thinking? Your suffering is my suffering and your happiness is my happiness. When action comes out of nothing, it creates no karma. Do not close your eyes before suffering. Find ways to be with those who are suffering by all means, including personal contact and visits, images, sound. By such means, awaken yourself and others to the reality of suffering in the world. How deeply did you learn to let go? Do not carry with you your mistakes. Do not carry your cares. Travel on alone, like an elephant in the forest. Should a person do good, let him do it again and again. Let him find pleasure therein, for blissful is the accumulation of good. When one feels no shame in telling a deliberate lie, there is no evil, I tell you, he will not do. We will develop love, we will practice it, we will make it both a way and a basis. A man who will be the public leader must know how to be the public follower. If we destroy something around us, we destroy ourselves. If we cheat another, we cheat ourselves. A fool thinks it like honey so long as the bad deed does not bear fruit, but when it does bear fruit he experiences suffering. 4. Owners of their deeds, karma, are the beings, heirs of their deeds. Their deeds are the womb from which they sprang, with their deeds they are bound up, their deeds are their refuge. Whatever deeds they do, good or evil, of such they will be the heirs. And wherever the beings spring into existence, there their deeds will ripen, and wherever their deeds ripen, there they will earn the fruits of those deeds, be it in this life, or be it in the next life, or be it in any other future life. Things are not what they appear to be, nor are they otherwise. Let all embracing thoughts for all beings be yours. When I was a young man, near the beginning of my life, I looked around with true mindfulness and saw that all things are subject to decay. Inner freedom is not guided by our efforts, it comes from seeing what is true. The non-doing of any evil, the performance of what's skillful, the cleansing of one's own mind, this is the teaching of the awakened. If the selflessness of phenomena is analyzed and if this analysis is cultivated, it causes the effect of attaining nirvana. Through no other cause does one come to peace. Sit, rest, work. Alone with yourself, never weary. On the edge of the forest live joyfully, without desire. Let none find fault with others. Let none see the omissions and commissions of others. But let one see one's own acts, done and undone. From craving is born grief. From craving is born fear. For one freed from craving there's no grief, so how fear? All compounded things are subject to decay. Strive with diligence. A mind unruffled by the vagaries of fortune, from sorrow freed, from defilements cleansed, from fear liberated, this is the greatest blessing. I will not look at another's bowl intent on finding fault, a training to be observed. Being generous, just helping one's relatives and being blameless in one's actions, this is the best good luck. Our life is shaped by our mind, we become what we think. Suffering, if it does not diminish love, will transport us to the furthest shore. Your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. These teachings are like a raft, to be abandoned once you have crossed the flood. Since you should abandon even good states of mind generated by these teachings, how much more so should you abandon bad states of mind? I look upon the judgment of right and wrong as the serpentine dance of a dragon, and the rise and fall of beliefs as but traces left by the four seasons. The ignorant man is an ox. He grows in size, not in wisdom. If you don't disturb yourself, like a broken gong does not vibrate, then you have achieved nirvana. Irritability no longer exists for you. A fool acquires knowledge only to his own disadvantage. It destroys what good he has, and turns his brains. However young, the seeker who sets out upon the way shines bright over the world. But day and night the person who is awake shines in the radiance of the Spirit. Meditate. Live purely. Be quiet. Do your work with mastery. Like the moon, come out from behind the clouds. Shine. The fool who recognizes his foolishness is a wise man. But the fool who believes himself a wise man, he really is a fool. If one man kills 100 men, and another man masters himself, the second man is the much greater warrior. Make an island of yourself, make yourself your refuge, there is no other refuge. Make truth your island, make truth your refuge, there is no other refuge. Maintain a state of balance between physical acts and inner serenity, like a lute whose strings are finely tuned. Thought habits can harden into character. So watch your thoughts. When one drives away the negligent through vigilance, he climbs the heights of wisdom, and can see the suffering masses. Serene, you look upon the lost like one that stands on a mountain sees those that stand upon the plain. May all sentient beings be happy and free of suffering. This is deathless, the liberation of the mind through lack of clinging. Read as few words as you like, and speak fewer, but act upon the law. Through effort you will cross any raging flood, through energy you will pass any sorrow. There are, O monks, these four lights. What for? The light of the moon, the light of the sun, the light of fire, and the light of wisdom. Of these four lights, the light of wisdom is supreme. But if you do not find an intelligent companion, a wise and well-behaved person going the same way as yourself, then go on your way alone, like a king abandoning a conquered kingdom, or like a great elephant in the deep forest. The deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to extinguish them all. The number of beings is endless. I vow to save them all. The truth cannot be told. I vow to explain it. The way which cannot be followed is unattainable. I vow to attain it. I gained nothing at all from supreme enlightenment, and for that very reason it is called supreme enlightenment. Gautama Buddha.
And that's not all. Our experts and regular viewers respond to all comments. Also check if you forgot to subscribe and set your bell to receive notifications about new audiobooks and other useful self-development materials that we release regularly. Join in the discussions, don't forget to give likes and, if possible and inspired, support the development of the channel financially. All useful links will be in the description and the first attached comment. Goodness, love and wisdom to all. And now move on to watch the next part of the video at the links below, or choose something from the playlists of the channel and those you see on the screen.